The gospel has to land, and when it does, it should cause a stir. This is what I mean. It feels as if in our day there are pastors and pulpits and churches who want to talk about the gospel up here like it's floating above everything and never really stepping into anything. And as long as they can stay above the fray and above the doo-doo and above the yuck-yucks, it's going to be okay. And they think they're being faithful. When we see Paul again and again demonstrate by his example that the gospel has to land in the middle of the mess. Like 2 feet on the ground, in the gunk, calling it like it sees it. I talked with a pastor a while back who quoted Acts chapter 19, Paul in Ephesus, saying, Paul got in trouble there, but he never said anything bad about the idols. He didn't talk to the culture. He was just doing home Bible studies, and they got bent out of shape. And that was his justification for never addressing anything from the pulpit that was going on in the culture, to which, as you can imagine, I had a slight perturbance over. Not because I'm obnoxious or I like conflict. I am neither. Well, one maybe, but the other, I don't like conflict. But I read my Bible, and in Acts 19, the accusations of Demetrius the silversmith was, and you see and hear how this fellow Paul has convinced and led astray large numbers of clients here in Ephesus and in practically the whole province of Asia. He says that gods made by human hands are no gods at all. What's Paul doing? He is landing the gospel in the middle of their demonic idolatry and going, that's demonic, and that's demonic, and that's demonic. And they hated him, watch this, because there were entire industries thriving on demonic worship. I mean, nothing like today. You need to consider industries that are thriving and banking on demonic worship, that if a revival took place and worship shifted from demons to Jesus, those industries would collapse, full stop. There is a love of money and greed and materialism that are driving entire demonic industries that we look at and go, oh, it's just this. No. Look and see in the physical realm what is happening in reality in the spiritual realm. The gospel has to land. I got asked this week, what do you think about pastors who are faithfully teaching the Word of God? They just don't want to address some of the difficult cultural things because they don't want to be perceived as controversial and lose voice with the culture. Now, that can be an honest question, even though I think it's frustratingly silly. But it can come from a good place, to which I say, if you are bending the Word of God, hoping that you can bend it far enough for a demonic culture to approve of, you will have to bend it until it breaks, and then you'll get approval, not before. And so if you're bending it so as to have it not even be recognizable in its original form, they're still going to hate you, and you're not helping them by parading the truth. And here's what I find disingenuous and frustrating in relationship to this idea that pastors should not address these issues. Brother, you should not use the tithes and offerings dollars of the church to build a bunker bubble in which you can safely study for your sermons every week while your people walk through the minefields of the real world. It is disingenuous to sit in the bunker thinking you're being faithful, all the while the troops that you're supposed to be leading are trying to navigate a minefield-ridden battlefield while being shot at and attacked by orcs and think you're doing them any good. You got to get out on the battlefield with them, and you have to lead from the front. Brother, it is disingenuous to expect more courage from your people in the marketplace than you have in the pulpit. Walk with them, eat with them, hear what they're dealing with, listen to what they're seeing, understand what they're experiencing out there in the real world, and it just might change your preaching. Because, friends, the gospel has to land in real time. And if the gospel doesn't have answers to the questions everyone is asking, what are we doing? It is not courageous as a pastor to get up and boldly answer questions nobody in the culture is asking. That's not boldness, that's stupidness. It is the bold pastor, it is the effective church, it is the revival-sparking people of God that have the intelligence to know what time it is, so as to take the timely word of God and apply it to the needs that our culture is screaming for. You realize our culture is like begging for help. They're just doing it in all these really weird ways. The gospel has to land, and when it does, it should cause a stir. And the second big idea is, hey everybody, hope you found that helpful. If you would like to watch the sermon that clip came from, you can go here, check it out. As well, if you'd like to watch more Bible teaching, you can go to my YouTube channel. And if you would like more free resources for your family, your marriage, and how to be a stronger man, you can go to strongmannation.com. Check it out.